Hi, and thanks for coming to Families That Read Succeed. We're going to talk about the importance of early literacy and the ways that you can utilize this at home with your children. Some of the points that we're going to make today during our class are going to be why it's important to read to your child, how you can read to your child, how to build your library at home, and then just extra tips for you as a parent to make reading fun for the whole family. So why is it important to read to your child? Well, a love of reading is grown at birth for children. Studies show that the more books that a child is exposed to at a young age, the higher the performance will be at school as they grow older. So what are some tips on how you can do this at home? Well, for starters, just shoot for 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes really isn't that much work. It's about 1 to 2 short story books or maybe a magazine article. The important thing to know is that when you're working with a young child, like a newborn or a baby, you can read anything. They just love to hear your voice. So you can read the latest issue in Cosmopolitan or a Time magazine issue to your child, or you could read a storybook. You have many, many options. The most important thing is that your child loves to have that shared attention time where they get to see that what they are focusing on is important enough for you to focus on with them, as well as the opportunity to hear your voice on a regular basis. What's another way that you can do reading on a daily basis with your child? Break it into a routine. A great, very popular method is to do it during bedtime. Throw in 1-2 books during a night, and there you have your 15 minutes covered. Another thing that's important to use when you're doing story time with your children is to make sure that you use good tone inflection with your voice. So when you're reading stories, use different voices for different characters. Make sure that you emphasize different parts of the story. When you're getting to a suspenseful part, use a nice little interesting tone that goes up and down to help perk your child's interest in what you're reading. Another thing is to make sure that you can point to the pictures. When you're reading a book, like let's say this one about colors, you can point to, can you name all the objects here? Here is our green frog and our grapes, yummy, yummy. By pointing to the pictures on the pages, you are bringing your child's attention to what you're reading and help them learn more about what word goes with what picture or object. Additionally, ask your child questions about what's going on in the story. Ooh, have you ever felt sad? Sarah's crying in this page. Have you ever felt sad sometimes? Or maybe just talk to them about what's going on. Wow, they're going to go to the beach. I love going to the beach, getting to go swim in the water. Go ahead and add in little bits and pieces while you're reading to your child. It'll help make it more interesting and more lively for you as well. Additionally, you can also add on to stories. So let's say you read a story about Scooby-Doo. Well, you could always invite your children after you're done reading to put on a puppet show about Scooby-Doo or sing a song. Anything to expand on something that they read lets them realize that reading a book isn't just about the book. It's about the creativity and the creative activities that come along with it. The last and most important tip to you on how to make sure that you are reading well with your child is to be a model reader. So don't only read to your children, read at other times and let your child see that. Maybe have some quiet time at the end of the day or different points during the day so that your child gets to see you reading. And when you're reading anything, even the ingredients on a box of food, read it off out loud so that your child understands that what you're doing is reading and that it's an important task that they're going to continue to get to do in their whole life. So on to our next point of building your own home library. What are ways that you can build your own library at home? Well, obviously you can purchase different books. There are a variety of different options there. You can go for new books at new stores, or there are always a great amount of used bookstores available in any community. You'll have a lot of great treasures you're going to find there. Check in with parents and relatives. Chances are they have some books that they're not using anymore, especially friends that have kids. We all love to recycle our books and share with others. And talking about recycling, there's something called a book chain that you could start, or a book exchange you could start with your friends, where you send out a letter that invites them to send books to your child and then put their name on a list, and then the names on the list move down and every child is going to be receiving books from that. That's a great way to expand your library in a way that is very creative, and you'll probably even get topics that you might not have even thought of. Another option is going to your local library. True, these are not books that you're going to be able to keep at home for a long period of time, like more than the month that it's available for checkout. But it's a good way to keep rotating your book topics and have nice, fresh, different things to read. It'll help make it more interesting and perky for you as a parent, and actually it'll help topics change be much more interesting for your child. So moving into some extra tips for you and your child. What are some ways that you can continue to grow your interest in reading in the community? Well, there are tons of story times available in any community, both at bookstores. Barnes & Noble has them available nationally at all their stores. You just need to check with each store to see what their schedule is. Libraries are another great place. A lot of them have something that's called a lap sit and a story time. Lap sit are designed for younger children so that they can sit on their parents' lap while the story is being read. And then the story time is made for children that are a little bit older, typically toddlers and up. And the reason that the story time is a little different for that age is that they actually encourage children to go ahead and get up and walk around, because at 12 months and up, your child's not really going to be able to sit still for long periods of time. Another great creative tip to make book reading fun for your kids is to create a book nook in your own home. That may just be a corner in a room with a couple of fluffy pillows and some books available for your kids to look at, but what you're looking for is a place where your child can go to at any point in time, relax, and look through a book. Or if your child's young enough that they're not able to look through a book without your help, a cozy corner for you to go and share that time with your child to read a book. Additionally, talking about a book nook, that leads us to our next point of accessibility to books. It's very important that books are accessible to children. This might be a no-brainer, but a lot of parents don't think about this, and they may have bookshelves available for their child in their bedroom or maybe in a different part of the house where the books are on maybe the second or third shelf. This is great to keep little kids from pulling out books that you don't want to have them getting into, but it does hinder their ability to explore books naturally on their own. So if you could maybe set up a little basket like we have here of books that you feel are appropriate and are okay for your child to explore at any point in time, keep those out and available at a place where your child knows they are and that your child can access, so that your child can explore books on their own time and find their own creativity with it. And the last tip I'm going to leave you with today is, have you ever thought about making books a reward for your child? So instead of giving your child stickers or candy or an extra dessert for doing something well, how about adding an extra story at story time? Or maybe giving them an extra 10 minutes of book reading, or maybe a trip to the library, or a chance to go to the bookstore to get a new book for your child to add to their library. Books can be an amazing tool to help build your child's creativity and will help them learn throughout life. Thank you so much.